What do car chases, explosions, and giant monsters all have in common besides being awesome, being featured in many movies, and making or breaking your immersion in them? Well, they are all brought to life by special effects. The unsung hero of bringing many blockbuster films to reality. Movies of all budgets and scales use different forms of special effects to show their story. The special effects used in the 2015 film Mad Max Fury Road are a perfect example of the two different types I want to talk about today, practical and digital. These two effects are at least partially used in all of the 1,376 movies I have seen. Having taken film classes and reviewed movies for a school newspaper, I feel I can speak on how this is done. During this presentation, I will explore the following using examples from the film I mentioned earlier, Mad Max Fury Road. What practical special effects are and some techniques for making them, digital special effects and how they are made, and how these two techniques can be used in unison. First up, let's talk about practical effects. These are the oldest kind of movie special effects and can be described as anything done or made in front of the camera before filming to make something seem real in the world of the movie. Examples of this are makeup, prosthetics, miniatures, matte paintings, and pyrotechnics, among other things. Think of the monsters they built for 80s horror movies. These are not exclusive to movies and have been used in plays, concerts, and other such performances. I will now show examples of practical effects from Mad Max Fury Road. This is the character of a Morton Joe's back, but surprisingly enough, this is not what the actor who portrays him's back looks like. It's achieved by putting prosthetics and makeup on the actor's back in order to make him look more old and decrepit. Another big thing done practically in the movie is the driving. They used and destroyed a lot of real cars while filming this movie. Special effects supervisor Andy Williams said Fury Road is 95% vehicle chase with huge amounts of precision and truck driving required. That is a lot of work to make every shot look real. Doing that just practically would be a difficult undertaking. Luckily, there is another form of special effects. These are digital effects, or computer-generated images, CGI for short. These effects take teams of hundreds, maybe even thousands of digital artists working together to make realistic-looking images to convince the audience the world they are seeing is real. This can make up full sequences like giant battles in a Marvel movie or just be one object on screen slightly changed. While digital art is not exclusive to filmmaking, this is a use that is rarely done elsewhere. An example in the Mad Max Fury Road is the dust storm scene. There is no way to safely drive cars through a storm of that magnitude. It means it had to be created digitally. A lot of the fires and explosions in the movie were also done this way for safety reasons. It's also easier to control the final product when you completely create it from scratch. Now that we understand both practical and computer-generated effects, let's look at how they can be used together. These two techniques used together in modern movies make up the spectacle we all love. When something would look poorly done just with a computer or not real enough practically, both can be used together to make a convincing image and create audience suspension of disbelief. This is vital to enjoying movies. Examples of this being done in Mad Max are the clear areas used to film the car stunts and then rocks added in digitally so that they don't have to avoid them while driving, but the final confined product of the movie is still intact. Williams spoke once again on George Miller, the director of the film's attitude towards it. George wanted every stunt and piece of SFX action to be prepped and rehearsed as a live-action shot. All in all, there are many different techniques for creating special effects. The two main ones are practical and digital. They can be used together to create a masterpiece. Next time you are at the movies, think about what the things you are seeing looked like on set. What was done with a computer and what was done practically. So, what did those things I listed at the beginning have in common? They were all brought together by a hardworking, dedicated team of special effects artists.